Lori Chavez-DeRemer is Donald Trump's Labor Secretary, and she's got new things happening in her world that, again, this administration doesn't give a damn about.
This morning, the New York Times reporting Labor Secretary Lori Chavez-DeRemer's husband was banned from the department's headquarters after two women accused him of sexual assault. The Times reporting one of the incidents caught on security camera occurring in mid-December. Dr. Sean DeRemer accused of giving a department employee an inappropriate extended embrace. ABC News obtaining this D.C. police report. All names are redacted, but it details a woman making a complaint of sexual contact against her will, allegedly occurring on December 18th inside the Department of Labor. A former moderate Republican congresswoman from Oregon, Chavez-DeRemer, was handpicked by President Trump to remake the Labor Department, thanking her husband at her confirmation hearing last year.
And finally, my loving husband, Sean, my high school sweetheart, who has stood by my side through every triumph and challenge. To all of you, thank you.
D.C. police investigating the alleged assaults, but so far no criminal charges have been filed.
In a statement to the Wall Street Journal, the secretary's husband said, quote, "I have not done any of this and I categorically deny these things," end quote, and he's insisting he'll fight these accusations.
How does this keep happening? How does this keep happening? Everyone surrounding Donald Trump, at least, and this is an auxiliary connection to it, the husband of his labor secretary, Lori Chavez-DeRemer, her husband is now banned from that same building that she works in that he would visit sometimes. I guess a couple of folks inside the building caught his eye, and allegedly he was caught on a security camera, which I know they're not going to show us, hugging a little bit too long, and maybe he got a little handsy. Just to drive it home, the New York Times did point out, if Mr. DeRemer, the labor secretary's husband, attempts to enter this damn building, he's going to be asked to leave. A building restriction notice that the New York Times saw said that. Like, it's like they have his face on the wall, looking all weird, going, "Do not let this pervert into the building," because we're in the middle of an investigation that the Justice Department or anybody else in this administration is going to completely shut down because they don't want any accountability, and they damn sure want, sexual assaulters, accused or otherwise, walking around the building. But did you guys remember this about the labor secretary? This happened just last year.
The complaints made during a widening internal investigation into alleged misconduct by the secretary, accused of having an affair with a member of her security detail who's reportedly been placed on administrative leave. A department internal watchdog also probing if Chavez-DeRemer has abused her office, including by allegedly taking her staff to strip clubs and allegedly misusing official government travel. The secretary has previously denied any wrongdoing.
Who was this, Pete Hegseth? No wonder that guy became, the Department of War secretary, because they like going to strip clubs. They like taking staff to strip clubs. They like sexual, harassment among, at least that was with, Pete Hegseth. When it comes to Lori Chavez-DeRemer, she's then instead been accused of a consensual relationship with a staffer that, is apparently being investigated. But like I said before, it's not going to go much further than them saying it's being investigated. Because who really gives a damn? This is what they're not going to investigate. She's 57 years old, and she's welcomed her alleged paramour at least 3 times to her D.C. apartment and twice into her hotel room while traveling. That's what these allegations come from, this complaint that was filed with the Department of Labor's Office of Inspector General. Again, this is from last year. I wonder how far this probe has gone. The former Oregon congresswoman is also accused of drinking in her office during the workday and committing travel fraud by having her chief of staff and deputy chief of staff make up official trips to destinations where Chavez-DeRemer can spend time with her family or friends. That is, and this is the other thing, on the taxpayer's dime. It's almost like the president and the rest of his cohorts. The White House spokesperson Taylor Rogers called those allegations baseless. and that's why they're not doing anything about it, because all they have to do is say that everything is baseless, because why would they come out and say, yeah, you're right. She's been drinking on the job. She's been having an affair with one of her staffers and has been using taxpayer money to go wherever the hell she and he would like to go. Here's more. Secretary Chavez-DeRemer is an incredible asset to President Trump's team, and she will continue advancing the president's America First agenda. That's what that spokesperson said in a statement. She is an incredible asset to Donald Trump, and she is going to continue to advance his America Last agenda, because this is what Donald Trump expects. This is why she's an asset.
If you all haven't stopped by the Department of Labor, Mr. President, I invite you to see your big, beautiful face on a banner in front of the Department of Labor because you are really the transformational president of the American worker.
That's why she's an invaluable asset. She's quick, she's concise, she gets straight to the point of kissing his ass as quickly and efficiently as possible. It happens, and he's happy. But when it comes to actually talking about what is it she's supposed to be, I guess defending with this administration, the things that she's claiming are happening with job losses and the economy and things surrounding the Labor Department that has Donald Trump's effing face now draped over the top of it like a fascist country would. This is her answer that she couldn't even let float and get past Stuart Varney on Fox Business.
The latest jobs report showed the unemployment rate going up to 4.6%. That's a 4-year high. You must be disappointed by that. Do you trust the numbers?
Well, when I look at the numbers, what I think about is that we saw a solid jobs report, 64,000 new jobs. The president has created more private sector jobs than we have seen in really a long time, and certainly not under the Biden administration, where almost 700,000 jobs have been in the private sector. Certainly, we have seen the federal jobs go down, which is what the president promised that he would do. We're going to be in North Carolina tonight. I'll be with the president talking about, to the American people, how we're going to protect the American economy and the American jobs. So with more people searching for jobs, the unemployment rate can tick up because that means more people are getting off the sideline and finally wanting to be part of the American economy and this workforce. And at the Department of Labor, we want to stay focused on understanding exactly where we need to send those dollars to make sure that everybody has the opportunity at the American dream.
That was an interesting diplomatic move, I'd say, to see a 4-year high for unemployment is actually kind of beneficial and good news. Madam Secretary, I'm being facetious, but I don't mean it.
Stuart Varney, the word he wanted to use was, that's some interesting bull that you just tossed my way, Secretary of Labor. I mean, you talking about job losses being a good thing for the American people is the cleanest version of what Donald Trump always says, which is usually tossing a couple middle fingers at folks and saying, I've done it all. I'm the best ever. Did you know that I won on affordability?
And then I have to listen to the fake news talking about affordability. Affordability. Do you notice, what word have you not heard over the last 2 weeks? Affordability. Because I've won affordability. I had to go out and talk about it.
This is what Lori Chavez-DeRemer does on her job. That is when her husband isn't running around the building being accused of groping people. Here, 2 purported meetups between Chavez-DeRemer and her alleged affair partner took place in September after the mom of 2 told her security detail that her protection wasn't needed. This is according to this, investigative report in this complaint. A third alleged visit occurred in the same D.C. apartment in October, when the man waited until the agents protecting the secretary went home before driving over. The subordinate allegedly entangled with the secretary told the Post, I got lawyers, so I'm not going to talk to you. I have nothing to say. And then he, declined to, talk about it. Chavez-DeRemer and the staffer traveled together to the Red Rocks Casino Resort and Spa in Las Vegas in late October to celebrate her niece's 40th birthday party, while the federal government was also shut down. While that government shut down, she took off on trips to Vegas to hang out with her buddy on the taxpayer's dime. The complaint also describes Chavez-DeRemer drinking in her office with references to a stash of champagne, bourbon, and Kahlua that she also keeps there. Man, when's the last time you've seen Kahlua being drank by anybody? I think I saw people drinking Kahlua. There was a couple of, girls in college around like sophomore year. It's the first time I saw Kahlua. I wasn't big on Kahlua. But I mean, it's a nice stash. It's a good spread. She's got 3 different kinds of drinks. You can always go for the bourbon if you don't like the Kahlua. Lastly, of those details, in 2025, just last year, the DOL spent hundreds of thousands of taxpayer dollars for the secretary to visit 37 states on more than 50 official trips. That's according to sources in this official travel schedules. And at least 10 of those visits were to Nevada or locations where she has personal ties, including her home state of Oregon, Arizona, where she and her anesthesiologist husband, who's, up on these latest allegations, have a home that's listed as a primary residence in mortgage documents. Also, and in Michigan, where her daughter lives. Wouldn't it be great? Everybody who's, having trouble making ends meet, but you're definitely gonna have to pay your taxes. It's tax season right now. To think about as you're paying your taxes or as you're thinking about trying to find ways to scrounge back a couple of dollars in returns, think about the fact that for all of that year when you were paying those taxes and you'd look at your paycheck and go, damn, I wish I had some extra money. And then you listen to Republicans say things like, we're gonna put more money back in your pockets. What they really meant was that we're going to take more money out of your pockets, give it to people like Lori Chavez-DeRemer to then go off with her gallivanting with her lover to different locations around the country while you pay for it. And then she drops pictures of Donald Trump at the side of the Department of Labor building because it makes him feel good. And how good are you going to feel after her husband, who was just accused of groping two more women in that same building, is going to catch no consequences or even a deep investigation to discover the veracity of these claims? How good do you feel?